Valley College has had a history of outstanding football programs featuring both multiple championship teams, four-year and NFL players, GMs, coaches, Super Bowl participants. The list goes on and on. And now we have the latest success story, which is head coach Kevin Emerson. And your coaching style, I always was interviewed one time and I said it was modernistic. What I meant by that is you bring an aura of Division I type organization. Take us through, without going into extreme details, take us through a whole week of preparation for game time, Kevin.
Well, Mike, it kind of all starts off with the people that I've coached under. We're a junior college, and I think it's the number one essential component is the word college there. And I've been to a lot of junior colleges, some that didn't kind of treat it so much like junior college, they treated it more like high school. And then I've been under some good tutelage that taught me how to prepare our guys like college athletes. And that's exactly what we do. When you're coming to Valley College, you're coming to play and participate and go to the next level. And in doing so, we run our program exactly like a Division I level team, same as like SC, UCLA. The list goes on. And a lot of those coaches from those schools have come here and said the same thing about our program. They enjoy coming to see us practice because we run it just like a Division I program. Our week-to-week schedule is kind of simple. On Monday is basically a mental day. We're watching film. Like today we had about 2 hours of film. We're watching our game, and we're watching our next opponent. We're preparing for them. Then what we'll do is we'll condition, and then we will also do a weightlifting session also on Mondays. It's basically a 3 to 3.5 hour block there on Mondays. Tuesday and Wednesdays are we call our on-the-field work days. Those are when we're going full pads, and we're moving around pretty quickly, actually preparing for the next week's team via cards and stuff like that. Everything is scripted. Everything's 100% prepared. We want our guys to be prepared. And if we don't script it, we're just highlighting or fly-by-nighting, basically. And that's not a good way to do it, in our opinion. And then Thursday's a polish day, which will be our shells. They're getting after it. They're still hitting hard. We're going, but we're going to take the lowers off, basically. But basically, we run it just like we do Tuesday and Wednesday, but we do a little bit more polish, a little bit more review. Fridays is a run-through day. Our philosophy is if we don't know what we're doing by Friday, we're not going to do very well in the game. So we don't put in a ton of time on Fridays. We come in, we do some stretching, we do team apart, and then we come together for some team script stuff, and we wrap that up within about an hour, hour and a half. So and Saturday we go play a football game. And Sunday us coaches are in about 8 hours all day preparing for next week, and we get the players off on that day and Sunday.
Talk to me about your offense. It's such a just almost like a helter-skelter, 2 minutes, constant 2 minute drill. I mean, that takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah, it does. We start our offense progression in spring every year, basically in March, and we have to teach it. It's very high tempo. There's a lot of little things that have to do with offense. Everyone has a scheme, and you can teach a scheme to anybody. But it's the coaching within the scheme and the teachings within the scheme that really makes an offense work or offense doesn't work. I could go up to Oregon and look at their offense, and I could bring it back here. We could be 0-10 because there's a lot of things that those coaches do that make that offense work on game day that if you don't know what they're doing, that's why we brought our offense here. We kind of a fast pace. We have run and shoot style passing game, but we have a power style running game. It's very unique. Not many teams do both power and finesse of the run and shoot together. We combine that in a very quick, up-tempo offense, and it produces points. It's been a very successful offense for a lot of years.
Kevin Emerson is our guest, head football coach at San Bernardino Valley College. Recruiting is a big part of any successful program. You have a very interesting philosophy about recruiting. You shared with me some stories about direct contact with the players. Please expand on that.
Well, in this society of social media and texting and Facebook and Twitter, those are components that are important and necessary to recruiting. But me and my staff really believe we need to see these guys face to face. We want to talk to them on the phone, and sometimes that doesn't always work. We'll try calling a guy, and sometimes they will not pick up because they only text. So, we got to jump through those hoops a little bit. And that's okay because that's where we are right now in society and our generation, and that's great. We have to adapt to our young athletes, and we do the best job we can. But we do want our coaches to make sure, and myself, that hey, if we have a job and that's to get a hold of someone, we want to get a hold of them. It's what you do differently that makes you unique in recruiting and on the field. And we believe in personal contact with our recruits and getting them down here for a visit. We have a very structured visit. It's very enlightening. We ask this one question every time: Is this different than you thought? And we have a 100% response rate and go, Coach, it's completely different. We're very impressed with the program and what you guys do. It's just a matter of getting that word out there, and that's what we do recruiting wise.
We'd be remiss if we didn't talk, Kevin, about the influence that concussions and all the rule changes and everything has impacted football at every single level. One of the rules I believe that has been in effect now is the one that if a player, I believe, hits a defenseless receiver, it can be ejected for the game. Could you please, kind of enlighten us on that?
Yeah, football, we've had a lot of things in the past, 4 or 5 years, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, with football being highlighted as a contact sport that we all know about, but we really didn't know, or there weren't a lot of studies on concussions. And now those studies are coming to volition right now. And with that being said, safety is important, and it's of the utmost importance. And we as coaches need to let this evolution of concussion syndromes and these type of hits take its course. And I kind of like it. I think it's important. It's always going to be a violent sport, but if we could take some of the violent, hitting with the crown of the helmet and stuff like that out of the game, I think we're going to have a few less injured individuals. But basically, if you spear or you come in and you hit a defenseless player with your helmet and you strike them, you're ejected. And if you're ejected, you're going to miss a half of the next game too. So it's they're putting their foot down as officials and as safety officials, and I think it's good. It's going to be a violent sport, like I said, but it's not necessary that we put the crown of our helmet on people and hit helmet to helmet. Those can be. It's going to take a lot of education and a lot of time to get it right, but it is getting better.
The only thing I kind of object to that rule, Kevin, we talked about this earlier today, is that it seems that when somebody makes a decision in the heat of the moment, in the emotion of the moment, sometimes we don't have time to analyze the play, such as in the NFL, when they go back and they look at films and then they hand down the punishment. And that may be a little bit unfair on the players, but, we're all in favor of safety, but that's the only objection I have.
Yeah, and it is unfair in that regards because the college football ranks and also the NFL can review it basically immediately and come up with a judgment, whereas it is total judgment call at the junior college level. But the referees are aware of that because that's something we've talked about with the referees. So they're always going to judge on the side of not ejecting. It's not their goal to eject, but if it's very evident that it was an intent to hurt someone, they're going to eject. And that's just the rules we live with.
What were your influences, in the game of football, growing up? Who were the people that influenced you into your coaching career that you give credit to at this point?
Well, to go far back to when I was 8 years old, my father was a great influence. He took over our team. He came in as a statistician actually, and then by the third game, he was actually the head coach. And,
wow.
Yeah, we went 9-1, and we played for a bowl championship, Northern California champions, and that was a big successful. He's who I look at. I have a lot of my characteristics taken after him, which means I've got a lot of discipline in me, a lot of that, and then also, in high school, Lawrence Schumer was a coach of ours, and he taught me the run and shoot. And then I went to Santa Ana College, and I learned more of the pro style offense from Tom Shine and Dave Ogas. And then I spent some time with Tom Cable also when he was at University of Idaho before he was with the Raiders. And, we spent some time with him. But, and then just over the years, just going to clinics and learning other things. But those are the guys that really were my biggest influences.
Well, you're really eloquent. And the reason I say this is sometimes, when practice is over, if I'm not too busy, I like to run out there and listen to you talk to the teams. It seems like you have something fairly interesting to say after every practice, and it's like a spur of the moment situation. When did you realize that, or what is your philosophy as far as when you address a team? It's something that is what's happened, a feel that you get throughout the entire day, and then you're able to express it to them.
Yeah, basically throughout the day. There's a never-ending list of things to talk about at our level. Everything from how you talk to the media to how you react when you're on the streets, or if you're at a party, how do you act? There's a never-ending list of things to do, and I try to pick a few of those things each day that are pertinent to that day. Obviously, I don't sit down at my desk and say, "What am I going to talk about today?" As the day goes through, something might come up, and it might spark a memory of something I need to talk about. But everything from education to passing the classes to attending to moving on to the next level. I just think the more you tell these young men, and hopefully the more you can convince them to do the right thing and be good people in society.
How big is it having your games televised?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. It's a great opportunity for our local community and even outside our local area to be exposed to San Bernardino Valley College football. I'm excited about it, and I'm just really thankful that KVCR has come on board and taken this project on, and I think it's great for the community. We had a great ratings last year, and I think they're going to be much, much better this year. And just because people are getting to know about it a lot more, we're advertising a lot more. But it's been a great thing for our local athletes and coaches alike to be able to watch our games on television.
At what point did Kevin Emerson, the player, realize that, you know what, I actually would like to do this for a living as a coach? I mean, what sparked you? What was the moment that you kind of like said, whoa, this is something I probably could be pretty decent at?
Well, I've always been successful at other jobs and in sales and stuff like that, but I didn't really enjoy all those things. And when I started coaching, that's something I enjoyed, being there every day, still do today. I was telling my son the other day, I've got a 10-year-old Trevor, and he says, "Hey, Dad, have you ever missed a practice?" I go, "In 25 years, I've never missed a practice in fall." And, it's just a testament to the loyalty and commitment to this sport and what it means to me. It's the best profession out there. It's very difficult sometimes, but overall, it's a great profession to be in, and I wanted to get in it, so I went and got my master's, even though I didn't like school 100%. I didn't love
You're
school.
not alone.
But,
No, but that's good for you.
sometimes you got to sacrifice for something you want in life, and I did that, and as of now, I've achieved my goal and still continuing on more goals.
What advice would you give young aspiring coaches to be successful?
Well, I think young coaches need to get as much knowledge as they can. Go to clinics, go to other programs, learn, and more importantly, learn how to teach the game, because anyone can X and O things, and they can go do a 10-yard out, do a 5-yard in, but you gotta be able to teach. And I think if you can teach the players why they're doing things, I think that's how you'll be successful, rather than just do this, just do that. Teach them why. And I think that's the most important thing. And learn, and go to every school you can, every coach you can.
Well, Kevin, I really appreciate your time. I know it's a busy week. You're in the middle of the season. And by the way, have you ever been interviewed by a trainer before?
I can't say that I have. I can't
Okay,
say.
now you have.
Maybe a case of tape or something. I don't know.
Thanks for your time, bud. I appreciate it.
All right, Mike. Thank you.
Kevin Emerson, ladies and gentlemen, the tactical technician of the 21st Century SBC football program. I'm Mike Sola. Thank you for streaming with us. See you at the games.